What's the fastest way to destroy an internal control system? Not weak policies, not bad spreadsheets, not even poor documentation. It's a culture where people stop caring about doing the right thing. Welcome to this series on the 17 principles of the COSO Internal Control Integrated Framework. In this series, we're breaking down each principle one by one in a practical, easy to understand way. So, whether you're a business professional, an auditor, a risk professional, or a board member, you can understand what each principle really means and why it matters. Today, we're starting with Principle 1. The organization demonstrates a commitment to integrity and ethical values. This principle sits under the first COSO component, control environment. In plain language, this means the organization must show, through both words and actions, that honesty, fairness, accountability, and ethical behavior matter. This isn't just about having a code of conduct sitting somewhere on the intranet. It means people know what's expected, leaders model ethical behavior, employees feel safe speaking up, and misconduct has consequences. At its core, the first principle is about whether the organization truly values doing the right thing, especially when there's pressure to cut corners, hit targets, save money, or avoid bad news. The principle is part of the control environment, which is the cultural foundation of the entire internal control system. The control environment sets the tone of the organization. It shapes how seriously people take policies, accountability, compliance, and internal controls. And Principle 1 is foundational even within that component. Why? Because even if an organization has strong approvals, reconciliations, segregation of duties, policies, those controls can still fail if the culture rewards silence, dishonesty, or results at any cost. If people believe that performance matters more than integrity, control failure becomes much more likely. So, Principle 1 is really about the ethical backbone of the organization. Let's look at the COSO control objectives. In operations, integrity helps ensure business goals are achieved the right way, and without it, people may bypass procedures, pressure staff unfairly, hide problems, or make reckless decisions just to get results. In reporting, this principle helps ensure information is accurate, complete, and honest. Without integrity, people may manipulate numbers, delay bad news, understate problems, or present a misleading picture to management, regulators, or stakeholders. In compliance, this principle helps ensure that laws, regulations, and policies are followed in substance, not just on paper. Without ethical values, compliance can become a checkbox exercise instead of a real organizational discipline. When an organization is weak on Principle 1, a lot can go wrong. For example, fraud might increase, reporting becomes unreliable, managers might override controls, employees might stay silent about concerns, retaliation may discourage speaking up, compliance failures might become more common, and reputational damage can escalate quickly. But the deeper problem is cultural. People start learning that what matters most is not how results are achieved, but whether that target is hit. And once that mindset takes hold, even well designed controls become fragile. Some examples of controls that support Principle 1. Let's take some preventative controls, a code of conduct that clearly sets expectations for ethical behavior, mandatory ethics training, including areas like conflict of interest, anti-harassment, anti-fraud, and expectations to speak up. Some detective controls include maybe an ethics hotline or a whistleblower reporting channel, and regular review of complaints, investigations, disciplinary actions, and exit interview trends. Some corrective controls include a formal investigation protocol and a clear and consistent disciplinary process for misconduct. A way to transfer that risk might be through directors' and officers' insurance or employment practices liability insurance. An organization might avoid that risk altogether by refusing business opportunities or relationships that create unacceptable ethical or compliance risk. Key point here, ethics is not just a soft cultural idea, it's supported by very real governance and control mechanisms. So if an auditor were assessing maturity in Principle 1, they might look for evidence that integrity and ethics are embedded in practice, not just documented. Some examples of evidence might include a current and approved code of conduct, approved at the right level, records showing staff have completed ethics training, annual employee acknowledgements, conflict of interest declarations, whistleblower logs and investigation files, board or audit committee reporting on ethics matters, evidence of consistent disciplinary action, employee survey results about the culture of speaking up, and signs that incentives are aligned with ethical conduct. What might this mean for a business professional? You're responsible not just for delivering results, but for how those results are achieved. That means following policies, being honest in reporting, disclosing conflicts of interest, raising concerns when something feels wrong, and not letting pressure normalize bad behavior. A useful question might be, would I be comfortable explaining this decision to my manager, an auditor, the board, or even the public? If the answer is a no, that's a red flag. For an auditor, Principle 1 means culture matters. Real questions are, is the code of conduct understood? Is the code of conduct lived? Do employees feel safe speaking up? Are issues investigated properly and consistently? And are consequences consistent? And are incentives pushing people towards misconduct? The principle is highly relevant to fraud risk, management override, reporting reliability, and compliance effectiveness. For the board, they shouldn't simply assume that because management says the organization has values, those values are actually operating effectively. The board needs to ask, what ethics concerns are being reported? Do employees trust the reporting channels? Are investigations timely and fair? Are senior leaders held accountable? Do performance pressures create ethical risk? And how do we really know the culture is healthy? The board's job is to ensure that integrity is not optional and that nobody is above accountability. In summary, Principle 1 is the foundation of the entire COSO internal control system. If integrity and ethical values are strong, people are more likely to follow controls, report issues, make sound decisions, and support the organization's objectives. If this principle is weak, even well-designed controls can break down, because ultimately, controls are only as strong as the culture in which they operate. If you found this helpful, stay with the series as we work through all 17 COSO ICIF principles, one video at a time. In the next video, we're covering Principle 2, Board Independence and Oversight. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want practical, clear explanations of internal control, risk, governance, and audit concepts.